Okay, it's red. Okay. So the purpose of schooling is to transfer knowledge and develop young adults that can function in the real world and benefit society. But there's a problem in standard schooling in that it has been industrialized and fundamentals of education are being lost. Nowadays, in the Western world, the majority of schools are like factories pushing out masses of young adults without real internal compasses or idea of what they want in life. Experiential learning is a sect of education that has been shown to help young adults grow in areas that standard schooling does not, and it is not being utilized enough. My research question is, what is the influence of outdoor education as a form of experiential learning on third culture kids at SAS? I decided to study third culture kids because I see it as a bit of a gap, and especially at SAS, I think I have a great opportunity to see how it affects them. And my assumption is that third culture kids react differently to outdoor experiences than non-third culture kids. And that's just a bias I have because I feel like growing up in multiple different places all over the world, we don't get to develop a good connection to our surroundings before we have to leave. And I want to find if experiential learning is more beneficial for them. And And the significance of my research, I feel it can be really beneficial to schooling, especially in international schools. And I hope to show that outdoor education is very helpful, if not crucial, for development in third culture kids. Some ethical considerations I have to think about is I want to be careful about the way I go about conducting my study, because a lot of people might feel like I'm trying to say that they're underdeveloped just because of being a third culture kid, and that it might sound insensitive to say that they don't have a connection to their surroundings just because of the way they've lived. And also, it might be hard to get information from students in my surveys that I'm going to be sending out due to the fact that they might not feel strong connection. Surveys they see every day, so they're just going to, blah, 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 give me bad answers. So I'm going to try to do the online surveys, and I'm going to listen to Darlene, who told me I should go out and actually talk to people in person, which I feel is actually pretty important. My methods, I'm going to send a pre and post interim survey when that comes to be, and I've already sent out a few surveys as of now, and I found that so far maybe my surveys haven't been worded so well, or the questions haven't been haven't been thought through enough because I haven't gotten really good information from the kids. Also, correlation research. I want to find a correlation in the surveys from third culture kids and the activities that they like to do. That's the study that I just sent out. The survey I just sent out a couple of days ago, and I wanted to find out if third culture kids would choose indoor activities more likely than outdoor activities. And another method is phenomenology. I hope to answer some questions about how students learn and if there is a way that it could be done better. Thank you. Matt.
How will you qualify interims as outdoors?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. I failed to answer that. I'm going to be targeting the eco-adventure interims, and those are the ones that are outdoor and outdoor education.
So you're only getting your research from the outdoor experience or the eco-adventure interims? Or what are you defining as outdoor experiences?
Sorry, what am I defining as outdoor experiences?
What qualifies because
yeah.
the other interims are outdoor.
No, that's a good question, but they're not necessarily. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more thinking about that and be more precise of which kids I decide to survey. But I'm gonna try to target interims that are more like our Mongolia trip and learn more about the interims and what they're going to do. And yeah, that's a good question. I'm not totally sure on that yet. Matt.
have you done any research or thought about how like the cultures where people come from might affect how they view outdoor learning and experiential learning?
Yeah, that was actually something somebody else has asked me before. Wait, so how different cultures see experiential learning? Is
Yeah,
that?
or just have you done any research into that, and I guess how would you control that, or how do you address that in your
Um,
research?
I haven't actually read a lot about how other cultures see it, and I'm sure there's a lot to read about it, and I'm going to read up on it. But and I'm interested to see in different cultures because there's so many different cultures here, and everybody's going on an interim. So I'd be interested to see how their culture affects how they answer the questions. So I'm not sure yet necessarily. Yeah.
Two questions. How do you define a third culture kid?
Yes.
We'll
Yeah.
start with that first.
I actually did some research on that last night because it seemed like I didn't have a good answer for you yesterday. And the definition is a kid that has grown up in a different culture than his parents. So that's the definition. Someone that is yeah,
So,
just somebody who grows up in a different place than their parents did.
So let's say if a parent is Indian but grew up in America, then the kid grows up in India?
Actually, I guess technically, I mean, from the definition I read, I guess that would be considered as a third culture kid. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so it just depends on where the parents grow up.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you have to actually ask the parents where they grew up as well as you figure out what your subject is? Like your subject currently right now is a third culture kid. Does that mean that you have to ask where their parents grew up in order for them to be qualified as a third culture kid?
I actually do think that would be an interesting question to ask because that would have something to do, would give me more knowledge about who's actually third culture kid or not. So that's something I need to think about with my next.
And then my second question was, are you studying the outdoor education piece or are you studying the third culture kid piece? Like what is your main subject of research here?
My subject is how the outdoor education as a form of experiential learning affects the third culture kids differently than not normal kids, but non-TCKs. So
you're studying the outdoor education.
Yes, I'm really trying to focus on the outdoor education piece specifically, as it relates. Sorry.
No.
Oh, sorry.
So are you going to have a group of kids who have experienced outdoor education that don't qualify as third culture kids?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find actually for my survey. Like, to answer your question, yeah, I want it like as a control, or yeah, I'm planning on doing that too.
What questions do you plan to ask in your survey, like open-ended or yes or no questions, and what type of data do you plan to collect?
So the survey I just sent out is pretty basic, 2 questions. I wanted to know how many countries they've lived in and what activities they would want to do if they had the time. And the reason why I wanted to know that is because I have a bias, and I believe that third culture kids don't necessarily have the connection to the outdoors. So I was thinking that they would choose indoor activities. And I'm going to assess that data soon because I just got the amount of responses that I wanted, so I'm going to see if there's a correlation there.
So since you say that you're going to send a pre and post interim survey, does that mean you're going to send the exact same questions to see the difference between before and after interim?
Yeah, to keep it controlled, so far what I'm thinking is that I'm going to have a set survey for before and after, because if I changed it, that could affect, like, wouldn't that just mess up the, like scientifically? I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it.
So the one you already sent out doesn't count as your pre-interim?
That's just trying to help me get some base knowledge on if maybe my biases are right or how to go forward with it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mel.